welcome to Like a Lioness, a podcast all things women's football. I'm your host Jess, and I'm here to bring you all the content you could possibly need for a week of women's football. Hello everybody, how are we? I hope we're well. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Welcome to the first official Like a Lioness podcast. Woo! Now, the point of this week is for me to introduce the podcast and to introduce myself so you guys know all about what's going on here. Hello, my name is Jess and I am a uni student in my third year of uni. I'm the host of this podcast. I love football. I always have. And I love a gossip with my girls about football. And I want to inspire many people of all ages to love women's football just as much as I do. So hopefully this finds you well and you can be inspired to either go and kick a ball or watch some women's football within the next week. Now, let me give you a little rundown of how this podcast works. Each week, I'll be joined by different co-hosts, different guests who can help me with the podcast, who can talk all things women's football. It could be somebody I've played football with before. It could be someone I currently play football with. Or it could be someone who's never kicked a ball in their life, who I want to inspire to pick up a football that week. So get ready for those guys to be joining me throughout the weeks on this podcast. Now, let me give you a quick rundown of how this podcast works. So we'll begin each week by giving you a nice simple rundown of the scores of the week. Now, because we're in England, we'll be mostly looking at the WSL, which is basically the women's version of the Premier League. But, of course, we'll touch on the top of the tables of many leagues, and we'll also look at any big competitions we had that week. For example, the Champions League or the FA Cup, and where people are sitting within that competition. We'll also cover the Euros and World Cup games when they're on, as well as the qualification games that go on throughout the year, so that you guys can keep up to date with who's sitting where within the world of football. And then, of course, we'll look at any shocking wins of the week. So if any bottom of the table teams came and smashed the top of the table teams, we'll have a look at that and we'll discuss why we think that may have happened. Also, each week, we will be looking at a specific topic. Now, this can be a multitude of things. For example, we will explore the gender pay gap within football. We'll look at ACL injuries and the never-ending trail of ACL injuries that women's footballers face. We will also look at grassroots football and how we can encourage more young females to get involved in football, and older females, and many more topics. Now, the last part of each week is one of the more exciting parts, and that is the gossip. Now, for those of you who have played women's football, I'm sure you'll understand how much gossip comes with a women's football team. Let me tell you, there is a lot. And quite frankly, I don't think it changes within the professional game. I think there's just as much gossip in the professional game as there is in my uni team. But that is what we'll explore each week. We'll look at anything we've heard through the grapevine, any gossip that we think's going on, any big news. It could be engagements. There's been a lot of them lately. It could be who's dating who. Multitude of things, and we'll explore it. We'll talk about it, and we will get up to date. On that note of gossip, I would like to say we'll try our best to fact check everything each week, but of course it's not always possible. So do feel free to go and do your own research and let us know if you find out anything extra or anything new on our Instagram, which is at @likealioness_podcast, where this is a space you guys can DM us with any new information you have. Tell us about your favourite action of the week, and you can suggest any topics you'd like us to talk about. We'll be in contact with you guys, hearing about how you're finding women's football that week. Tell us about your games. Tell us how it's going for you and anything else you'd like us to say. We also have a YouTube channel where you can go and watch these podcasts if you'd like to see our beautiful faces. And the link to that will be in the Instagram bio. So head over there if you want any more information. But that is how this podcast runs. We'll be back next week with our first official podcast, where I'll be joined by co-host Alicia. Very exciting, and possibly more We'll see. We'll see who's available. We play football together at our uni. So it'll be an exciting time to get stuck in to this female football podcast. Hopefully, you guys like the idea of this. Give it a follow if you do. Go and follow us on Instagram and please go and subscribe to us on the YouTube. I'm excited for this journey. Hopefully, you guys are. I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful week, everybody. And don't forget to go and kick a football. See you later, everybody. Goodbye.